guys, my name is Sofia Santos. Welcome back to my channel. This is me after our prelims exam, and if you can see right through this makeup, you won't be happy. I wanted to do something that's not academic or school related, hence this video. So today we will be thrift flipping or upcycling some of my old clothes. This video is in collaboration with a very important campaign called Segunda Mano Tulong Sulong para sa Inang Kalikasan. It talks about everything fashion sustainability, and if you're one of the people who likes buying clothes from Shopee or Lazada, you might be interested. If you guys didn't know, 29% of the Filipinos end up throwing their clothes just after one use. Imagine how much trash that is. Sadly, that's exactly how fast fashion works all over the world. And I know that the clothing industry isn't as obvious of a contributor for global warming and pollution, but trust me, we're gonna make it obvious for you. The clothing industry contributes 10% of our greenhouse gas emissions. That means they produce 1.2 billion tons of greenhouse gases per year. It's actually the second largest polluter of our freshwater lakes and one of the top polluting industries of our planet. I know that the world is already ending, but might as well do something to slow it down a little bit. You can do this through small acts that if done collectively and continually can make the biggest difference. This is exactly what Segunda Mano wishes to address, so if you want to know more about them, make sure to stay until the end of this video and follow them on all their social medias. With all that said, thrift flipping or upcycling your old clothes can actually help with fashion sustainability. So let's get right into it.
1, 2, 3, funk it.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.
The first piece that we are going to upcycle is my brother's uniform. This is no way meant to offend anyone or any school, but if you have one of these lying around, you can either donate it, or if it already has weird stains, why not turn it into new pieces? I was able to create two shirts from this, and the first one is a classic crop polo shirt. Let's act like this requires a lot of planning. The first step is to find your desired length. I wanted mine to sit right above my waist, so I marked just below the third button. Then, make sure to remove any patches or nameplates so you won't look like a schoolgirl who chopped all her clothes in half. After that, I'm just creating a line until my desired length using a ruler and some wax. Then, it's time to cut. Make sure to leave about an inch or two for the hem. It's very important to hem your shirt, so do this by folding the button inside twice and sewing like so. Uniforms are usually made with a material that frays like crazy, so make sure you don't skip this step. After a few minutes of sewing, here is our final look.
1, 2, 3, funk it.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you
Moving on to our second top that turned out to be a bit of a failure, but I'm hoping that you learn from my mistakes and make a cuter version. The original plan was to create a halter top inspired shirt that ties around the back like so. The first thing I did was use one of my favorite tops that had a matching design as a guide. I'm marking this all around the excess fabric left from my brother's uniform. Then I'm cutting once again, leaving a bit of seam allowance on all sides. For the back portion of the shirt, I'm grabbing the excess and measuring a piece from below the shirt's armhole to the bottom. Then cutting it with allowance once again. For the sewing part, I'll attach the back pieces to the front piece like so, bringing them together with some pins before sewing. Then I'm hemming all along the sides of the shirt. As I was trying it on, I realized that the back part needed to form a triangle for me to be able to tie it. So this is me trying to measure how big it needs to be. Now I'm connecting the bottom part of the armhole to the edge of the excess fabric to create a triangle. Lastly, I'll be cutting the excess away and hemming the sides once again. Now, to make the front piece fit better, I'll be adding 2 darts at the side like so. To do this, I'm creating a line from the neckline to the bottom. Then, using that as a guide to create a triangle with 1.5 centimeters at the base. To sew this, all you have to do is fold it in the middle and sew along the line. At this point, I'm pretty tired of the shirt, so I quickly tried to come up with some straps that I tried to burn because it had a lot of fraying, and I was left with burned straps. But here's the final look. You get the idea. With the polo shirt comes the pants. For this one, I wanted to maintain the overall look and simply adjust the fitting. To easily make a pair of pants fit better, you can sew 2 darts on each side like so. First step is to measure where and how big you want them to be. To make my life easier, I decided to put mine right where the 2 belt holes are placed. Because of that, I had to remove each one. If you like wearing belts, you can easily move this to the side. Next step is to mark the triangles about 1 inch thick on each side. For the sewing, do the same with the previous shirt by folding the triangle in the middle, then sewing along the line. I don't know if this is considered an upcycle, but here's the final look. And now for the final piece that we are going to flip, I have this thrifted button-down skirt. I actually see this a lot in Korean fashion, but since I don't have the courage to wear something like this, I decided to create a more fitted A-line skirt and use the excess to create a tube top. Starting with the skirt, I'm turning it inside out to mark. I'm using my older skirt as a guide and marking along the sides. Luckily, the waistline didn't have to be adjusted anymore, making this very easy. After that, cut the shape, leaving out a bit of allowance once again. Then, it's sewing time. I'll start off by attaching the sides together, making sure that the front and back pieces are aligned, then I'll sew along the line. Lastly, I'll also hem the bottom part, folding the fabric inside twice. And we're done. But before I show you the final result, let's move on to the tube top. I'm starting with the excess fabric from the skirt, measuring that around my body and marking where the 2 ends meet at the top and at the bottom. Since there's only 1 button left, I ended up removing it and sewing the top together instead, making sure that the hole is hidden. Try your best to make this as straight as possible because it will be the front of your top. Now for the closing at the back, connect the marks you made previously to create a slanted line. The first plan was to use a zipper for the closing, and here's me wasting a whole last hour trying to figure this out, only to remove it later. I ended up tired as heck and asking my ninang to sew on buttons to close the top. She used something similar to these. And finally, here's the final look. For today's video, but before we end it, I would like to invite all of you to please support Segunda Mano Manila. It's a campaign that provides a common platform for people and organizations that are making efforts for the sustainability of the environment. They believe that each one of you can make a change. And they're also partnered with a well-known non-profit organization that has the same advocacy. Please support fashion sustainability. You can do this by joining their activities, buying sustainable clothes, and donating. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to click thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Yeah, see you next time.
1, 2, 3, funky.